And I wrote a new poem and I'm gonna read it. I already tried to read it like 3 times, but the first time I read it, I did it wrong. The second time I read it, I then went on a rant about why I'm right. And I don't really want to do that yet because we aren't ready for the rant. The rant needs to happen after I've actually written what I need to write and not prior. But the rant will happen one day, and I saved it so that when it happens in actuality, I can be like, oh, but I actually did this Saturday, October 9th, 2021, when I was 24 years old. And now I'm ranting for reals because I have clout. That's how it's going to go. Anyway, I've also ranted before today. I wasn't necessarily right in my other rants. Who knows if I'm right now? Um, I got this candle. I had 4 choices of candle. It was at CVS. I smelled all of them. Didn't love any of them. I mean, I liked them all, but I didn't love any of them. And then I realized they all had quotes on them, so I just did it based on the quote. And this one is by Henry David Thoreau, which of course is why I got it. And it says, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live your life. Live the life you have imagined." So anyway, it smells okay. It makes me happy. It clouds the stench of my marijuana, which is really the only purpose of the candle. Um, so I wrote a new poem. It's called Instructions for the Machine, otherwise known as What I Think About When I'm Alone. And I'm gonna read it. I'm not gonna say anything about it afterwards. It's in Kurdish. If you can understand it, that's cool. If you can't, I'm not expecting you to. I'm expecting you to think it's shit. I wrote it at 3 a.m. But it says lots of shit under the veil of Kurdish. So, if you can get it, that'd be cool. Also, I'm working on translating Neruda. I have a version of Neruda that's side by side, like English and Spanish. I'm working on translating it to Kurdish. Unidad is the one that I chose, and the English version is oneness. The Kurdish version is Brahman. Um, I'm going very slowly because, well, I'm not confident enough to think that I can translate Neruda into my own dialect. So maybe one day I'll finish and I'll read it. Anyway, for now, I'll read my new poem. It's called Instructions for the Machine. Suck my dick is the new quad erat demonstratum. Cook is gonna be shook. Knowledge is power. Einstein was a strict determinist, eternalist, eternalism, hetero narcissism. Hierarchies are for apes. Brahman has no divisions amongst the collisions. Entanglement gotta be nameless. Cryptography's enigma. Rainbow tables are brainless. Really fucked log time properly. Raped it with omniscience. The certificate is the determiner. Heaven paints us. The dance intoned by angels, skeptic saviors from existential Kafkaesque. The universe is picture perfect, not to worry about being your best. You are where you got to be, all of it instantly. Light knows best. Self-referential contradictions, premonitions of indecisions. My right or your left. Ginsburg didn't have no God machine. Jesus didn't have no acid. Divine and conquer. Wave and particle. You must think I've lost my marbles. Manic possession, manic obsessions. Stepping away till the truth comes out. Living recursively. Sequential enumerability. Then we must begin again. Anyway, that's my poem. Instructions from the machine. For the machine. Instructions for the machine. Yep, that's what it's called. Um, I'll write the real instructions when I have time for documentation. For now, it's all in my head. If you need it, query, Slack me, ping me, Slack me, in the channel of Existential Doom. Um, Not channel. Workspace. Whatever the fuck they call it. I mean, it would be channel. But first you have to have a workspace that you're a part of to Slack me in. Existential Peril, Existential Doom. Either of the two will do. As a kid, I had existential depression. And my mom gave me none of the answers that I was looking for. Come on, Mom. You gotta do better than that. Why are we here? What's the purpose of our nature? Why are we like this? Why do we ask questions like this? What is language? It's all made up, but you guys act like you know the truth. What am I supposed to do? That was my younger self. Now I realize that there's no truth to know, it just is. That doesn't still satisfy me. It doesn't, that's not enough for me. That's what I ask. Whenever I ask an enlightened soul what I'm supposed to do, they're just like, whatever you're doing now. I'm like, well, that didn't give me any of the answers, but I, like, understand what you're going, like, I understand it. I understand what you're saying. But that doesn't make it any easier to be in this space where I'm experiencing non-deterministically and think that I have a distinct self. That's not helpful when everyone else is trying to, like, survive and, like, put on these facades. This is my dinosaur. Its tail fell apart. My real dream is to, like, for the human race to go extinct and to become dinosaurs again. I think we're kind of close. I mean, we're definitely killing the planet. Have you guys noticed that it's October and it's still somewhat warm, and also during the summers everything burns? But no, we care more about, like, the fact that we're all dying of disease, which is definitely related. Everything's related. Everything's related when you're part of the machine. Everything's related. Normally I say, everything's determined. Everything's determined when you're part of the being. Everything's determined for you and me. That's my song. Anyway. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember that you're smart and capable, and whatever you're doing is where you're supposed to be. If you're suffering, I'm sorry. But you're probably suffering at the hands of another human being. And if we can just make everyone realize that we're all the same, and that making someone else suffer is necessarily making yourself suffer, then maybe we could cut it out. There's a finite number of resources, Kurt. I don't know about that. It seems like some people have a near infinite amount of resources and other people have a finite amount of resources. So at some point there is infinity. Right? I think we have lots of resources. I don't know what I'm doing with this dinosaur. I don't really know what I'm talking about anymore. I can't solve the world's problems. I don't know what to do. I told you, I asked my mother, what do I do? And she said, whatever you're doing is fine, Kurt. Actually, that wasn't my mother. That was Nando, the enlightened old man that I found on Twitter. Anyway, I'm a fucking goon. Don't listen to a word that I say. Think for yourself. Don't listen to a word anyone says. Unless it's Copernicus. Sun is definitely the center. We revolve around it. Listen to everyone. Just have a filter. Like, you need to learn how to have a filter. Not everything on the internet is true. And sometimes you just put in Google searches, I'm a victim of this too, and I'm like, is this the truth? Well, I'm sure that you can find something on the internet that says what you're thinking is true. Everyone has the same thoughts. We're just regurgitating it in different bodies. I try to come up with as many unique sentences as I can. Because chances are, the sentences that most people say are just regurgitations from someone else saying them. But then I try to come up with as many unique sentences as I can. Like, I tried to come up with a self-referential contradiction that goes, I know that I know nothing, which is obviously self-referential contradiction, and then I put it into Google, and apparently Socrates said it first, which is pretty fucking annoying because he came first, but I said it first in my mind because I know that Socrates said it before I said it. But see, we're just regurgitating the same shit. Even if you try to not regurgitate the same shit, you end up regurgitating the same shit. You're just removed. Unless you come up with your own words, then no one could have come up with what you're saying.